we get into the formalities, just want to highlight the error that you saw on the graphic inside. So Kevin Lambert, the midfielder, is in the squad, while Dejan Whisper Richards is not. So apologies for the graphic that you saw on the screen. We will be taking your questions, but before we go into the questions, we're just going to go into some remarks. As you can see at the head table, at the end, we have the goalkeeper coach, Gudmundur Hreidersen, as we always have goalkeeper questions that come at press conferences. To his right, we have the assistant coach of the Reggae Boyz, John Wall. To his right, head coach, Hamer Helgamson, and to my immediate left, Maron Gordon. But before we get into the questions, we just want to go into, firstly, the opponents that we're going to play. That's Mexico, Venezuela, and Ecuador. And then we'll have our goalkeeper coach, Gudmundur Hreidersen, speak briefly about the goalkeeping options that we have selected. So firstly, our first opponent, as everybody knows, is Mexico. So assistant coach Maron Gordon will talk briefly about the Mexican team.
Yes, good evening, everyone. First of all, before we go into the team, I'm going to talk about the Mexicans, as a country, as a people. Resilient type of people, never give up. They will fight to the last whistle. And in terms of how passionate they are about football, they always become a very good 12 men for the team. They're going to push their team over the edge. And the experience this team have in Copa, is one of the, should I say, most experienced team from CONCACAF in the Copa. One of those teams that normally do well. Normally challenge big teams for games. So, that is them as a people. Head coach Lorenzo came in last Gold Cup. Kind of having a good run sometimes and bad runs, especially in the latter part of 18 games. Preferred to play a 4-3-3 system. Most of the squad, are locally based in terms of where they play. But few play outside. For the last 5 games, they recorded 2 wins, and 3 losses. So, it's a mixed bag for them right now. I took out 3 players that I think can be very influential to this Mexican team. Alvarez, as you know, played for West Ham. Very good, winner of the ball, especially in midfield for the Mexicans, and also, can throw a good pass. Also a big threat in the air, and you know that the Mexicans are very good on set pieces, so he play a pivotal role there also. And Antuna, who is doing very well, especially on the flanks for them right now. Really, really good goal scorer, very good 1v1, and will cause some problems for us, And Montez, also very, very good. Made his debut against us 2017 in the Gold Cup, and since then he become a regular starter for them. Very good 1v1 and also very strong in the air. So what we are prepared. We have done a lot of work on them. We lost against them in the Gold Cup, but we played a good game even though we lose. A few tactical error and that cost us the game, but we are very prepared for them this time, and hopefully we can do very, very good against them.
Thank you very much, Maron. I appreciate it. John Wall, the assistant coach as well, will also speak briefly on Ecuador and Venezuela, and then we'll hear from our goalkeeper coach, Gudmundur Hreidersen, on the goalkeeping options that we've selected.
All right, Ecuador. Wait, move it. Yep. Move 1, 2. Little bugger. There we go. Ecuador, probably one of the most respected teams in South America. Felix Sanchez Vaz, Qatar's former head coach. I've had the team since the Qatar World Cup 2023. Probably has one of the youngest average age teams, but also probably when you're looking at squad value, massive. It's not just inflated by Caicedo, who's one of their primary guys in central midfield. Probably everyone knows about his ball carrying skills, but his intensity and everything, perhaps not matched it up in his club this year. But overall, a team that consists of major European clubs. Hinchapie, who's been having a great season with Leverkusen, a converted fullback turned into a center back. Progressive skills, and I would say they like to possess their opponent, but it can also press the opponent to death, meaning it is a fierce competitor, and we have to be really wary about them. Furthermore, to add, when it comes to younger players, I would say Sarmiento, Jeremy, another Brighton player. Not had as many minutes as of yet, but a typical half space player that can use as a striker all and out or as a tucked in winger. So it's a very competent team overall, and we're really looking forward to the challenge.
Thank you very much, John. Now a few brief remarks from our goalkeeping coach, Gudmundur Hreidason, on the goalkeeping decisions that we've made for the Copa America.
Yes, we have basically similar selection as we did in the Gold Cup last year. We have added on Shakan, and we are very happy to have him with us. He's a talented keeper, has been playing very well in the Premier League here in Jamaica. So those are all names that you know quite well, and we hope that we will have sooner than later, Blake with us. But as the head coach said on the meeting earlier, is that he is in recovery, and hopefully he will join us soon. So we are very lucky to have those 4 keepers with us, and we believe that they are the strongest one we can select.
Thank you, Gumi. Now we kindly ask that you raise your hand to indicate, and then we can come into the questions. Yes, Leger, you may proceed.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry about that, Leger. So we have Venezuela to go, and then we can go with Leger questions. My apologies.
Well, Venezuela, Batista, former assistant coach turned into head coach after Peckerman. Really impressive record the past 20 games. It's only one team that let more than 1 goal into, and that's Italy in a friendly. But you have to track back to 2022 that they actually lost. So looking at Venezuela as kind of perceived as a weak opponent, you're completely wrong. I would say they are the bastards of South America. It's always going to be hard-fought games. Set pieces, they're really good at that. But when it comes to player personnel, I would say Rondon, still a really vital player for Venezuela. Just his link-up play, hold-up skills, can actually ease off the opposition really well in tight games. When it comes to creativity, one that kind of catched our eye is Savarino. He's really tricky and can unlock defenses either from a wing position or a little bit more tucked in. But we rate him, even though he might not be in the public eye as of yet as much. And furthermore, Caceres for me in Toulouse. He's a guy who can hold the ball, balance the rhythm of the game, and really orchestra a pretty, how should I say, a well-balanced team overall. So for me, all these 3 opponents, I would say, are looking at a bigger trend of 20 games. That's how far back we went. It's really tough opponents. So we have to be on our top level to actually compete.
Thank you, John. Leger, and then Mr. Blake, and then Chris.
Yeah, 2 questions. First one for Coach Albers, and then second one to anyone who would like to answer to the coaching staff. So, Coach, first I have to ask you, so the average age for the game against Dominica was around 24 and a half for the players who started and came on as well. Has it been a specific focus for you to try and use in the squad? And how do you think that you will acclimatize and really get into a tough competition like the Copa America?
Yeah, thank you for the question, and thanks for being here. We are in competition with the music here, so I hope you hear from us. But we haven't been shy picking young players for our squad. We must think about the future. We are thinking about the World Cup in 2026, and beyond that is another World Cup in 2030. And we have not only played, we have given we have given a lot of responsibility to young players. So in the Gold Cup, Whisper played a lot of the games there. Now Kahim is getting his chance. The goalkeepers are all young that we have in our squad now. So it's I think the future looks bright for Jamaica in that sense, and to be able to give young players the floor, the stage in a competition like this one can only grow them, can only help them in their development. So no, it is not like planned to get the average age below something. We just want to pick the players that we think will benefit Jamaica not only now but also in the future. And it was a mix. Now these two games we played in the World Cup, of course, it was the most important to win them. But we're also giving players a chance to show if they could grab a spot in this now Copa America squad. We were giving them a chance to show both on trainings and in the games if they were ready to step into that role.
Yeah, second question. Coach, you can answer this as well if you're like Coach Wall or
We'll share.
as well. So in terms of the attacking options in the squad, I'm sure many people would ask about maybe Liam Daly specifically and John Richards coming into the squad as well. But just generally the amount of attacking players in the squad, usually when you play possession heavy teams, you have opted for a three at the back system. I don't expect you to give away your tactical plans for the Copa America, of course, but when you play or you have so many attackers in the squad, how do you plan to maneuver with so many quality attackers, and is it your plan to go forward and really bring the game to these opponents at the Copa America?
I think it's a good problem to have. It's how to keep everybody balanced and keep them competitive. And I think if you plan to go deep into a competition, you need a quality front line, also, quality team balance. But we are always blessed with offensive players. So I think it's a good problem to have, as I said earlier. And just to keep them happy, keep everybody going, keep it competitive. And people will, definitely raise the bar each time. Because when you have people too complacent, your complacency also is never a good thing for any good team who want to do well. So I think you just need to continue to add quality, and most of the time we add quality to the offensive part. Especially lately, it's a young player who is aspiring to be great. So I think it's a good thing. It's a good problem for us to have. But the players, they are good together, and that is important. They are like brothers. They are competing, but competing, in a healthy way, and that is important for us.
Thanks, Lidge. Mr. Blake?
Thank you. First question to our goalkeeping coach. You seem to have settled on your backup contingent. Would you care to share with the fans what it is that you see in the strengths of Kanaya Boyce Clark and Shaquan Davis?
It's a good question. Thank you for that. I would say that they are both modern goalkeeper based on the style of play football is today. They can both be a good shot stoppers, and they are good with the feet. As you know, in the modern game today, 70% of what the goalkeeper is doing in the game is with his feet. So they are actually the future goalkeepers, as we can say, in a modern style of play.
And coach, I want to ask, so that we don't have wild thoughts out there on the past. The inclusion of Wes Harding back into the football, you share with us what precipitated that, and if you wish, you shed some light on. I know that Daniel Johnson didn't make the midfield, and Kemar didn't make the squad, even though we're creating chances and not putting as many away as we should. Will you share with us just those if you wish?
I'll go from the last to the first. So let's start on Kemaruf. We contacted him. He said he had been he didn't hit the ground running in the league. So in the end of the season, he played a limited amount of minutes, and he just said, "Coach, I will probably not help you a lot in Copa, and I really like the honesty of players when they say this. I'm not fit enough for Jamaica. When I'm fit, I will be the first man to say yes. DJ Daniel Johnson has been with us in the squad more or less. He had a tough season, didn't play much, and was not even in the squad for probably the last third of the season. So he was missing a lot of match fitness. We called him in now just to see where he was at, and we thought in the end that others would be more suited to play for us. So that's kind of the most honest answer I can give about DJ. And I would like to give him a lot of credit because he has always been the first one to show up when he gets the call from Jamaica, and I hope that will be also continuing in the future. He will now, of course, start the season, and hopefully he will do good in the season and come back to us like better than ever before. Now, the reason for Wes Harding that we include him now is what the coaches were saying. Our opponents are really physical. Number one, it's a high tempo opponent. It's going to be highly physical matches. So we needed experience. We needed a strong person, a character, and I think his versatility, both can play a right back position but also a central defense position, makes him kind of a perfect choice for us in this tournament. And he's highly motivated to come here. It was funny to see his face when he got the call up. He was so happy. He has been waiting for this call for a long time. So we expect a lot good from him, but most of all, he's a good player, but he's also a really good person. He will help us in the team building as well. So happy with including him.
Thank you, Mr. Blue. Yes, Chris?
So, big story coming out of the announcement of the Copa squad is that the NBA is back from international break to Celtic Stadium. What was the conversation like with the Aston Villa that might have convinced him to come back for the Copa America squad?
So the talk was between his agent and the JFF. So I would like to give a lot of credit to Greg and to Mr. Chong. So they sorted out whatever was the issue between him and the JFF. So after that, I think he has always wanted to represent Jamaica. And I don't want to talk much about what went on a meeting I wasn't attending, but I'm just grateful that this happened and this was resolved. And well, we have been talking about some of the issues that he was talking about, so we share the same thoughts in so many matters. And hopefully it will just help, like we said before, hopefully it will just help us to grow, continue to improve, continue to become more professional, etc. And he can say, I did my part in that. So I think it will in the end lead to something good.
There's about 4 players on the squad, and it's Marsha, Siobhan, Switch, and so on and so forth. I think so. Really have some work of course that that's why they're really trying to scope on the squad. One question about the coaching staff, with the performance of these players, in the season that just concluded, also the work of qualifying, like Warrington was about.
Yeah, I think consistency is what got them through, and we've been watching and tracking these players right through the JPL, and I don't think anybody will raise an eyebrow in terms of the local players we chose. Young Kaim, I just sometimes I don't think he even understands what is going on, but he's just vasting in the time, and but I'm really happy for them, because you had times in the near past where we didn't have so many local based players that are playing in our local league, in a big squad like this. So I'm just happy for them, and it's just go to show that as long as you perform, it doesn't matter where in the world you are. If you perform and you have a Jamaican passport, you can be a part of the team.
Thanks, Chris. We can take.
If I can add to this, I think also I think the league improved this year. I think especially turning the end of the playoffs were really good matches. I think that is also something that we must help the league to grow, to get better players from the league, of course, to sell them abroad, but to grow and improve the league will always support the national team. And I would want to give credit to the guys in charge of the league. I think, at least looking for since the last two leagues, I think this one was really good, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chris. We can take two more, Daniel, and one more over here. Daniel?
Hi, Coach Alderson. Several of the players are coming back from injury in the rehab process. Why take this risk, knowing that you probably could have given other players opportunities, or are you confident that they'll be at least play a part in the group stage going forward?
Yeah, I think all the 23 players we named are ready and fit. And we knew that there was a risk to select them for the World Cup matches. This is why we left them there. And given the conditions of where we were playing, etc., I think it was risky to bring in a doubtful player for those matches. So we opted to give them with the team, with the advice from their teams, to give them off the World Cup. But we are pretty confident Ethan Pinnock is ready. Demarai Gray has been calling us regularly. He says he's going to be on fire. Latibeaudiere was maybe the last one to say he was ready. So yeah, and then we can include, because of the new rule of 26, we can include Blake and Amari Bell, which we know are not ready as of now, but hopefully will be ready. But we are really satisfied and happy with the 23 we selected. So no, it's not a risk for those players in the 23-man squad.
Thank you, Daniel. You can take one more over here.
Yes, West Harding is a player that we haven't seen in the squad for a while. What prompted you to have him in this squad for the Copa?
Yeah, so we said a little bit earlier why. It's because of the opponents. First and foremost, it's physical opponents, high tempo opponents. So it's going to be a lot of fights, and he has the attributes to defend that. Secondly, he has experience. That is the reason we selected him.
And finally, I heard you made a comment about the JPL league. What's the possibilities of you maybe looking to the league again to have players being called up for the national team?
What?
Based on the quality that you've seen.
What is the possibility that we will be looking at the league again?
Yes.
Huge.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you for your patience as well, because we know normally it's a morning presser, but it's an evening one. Mr. Blake, you had indicated you wanted to say one last thing.
Question for Coach Gordon. Coach Perry, you've been with this team now as the Jamaican-based coach. Could you tell us what you've learned going into your third tournament, your development, your development? Could you tell us what you've learned?
Wow.
And that question came in from someone.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. Especially how to plan meticulously. Yes, we used to plan before, but I think our planning now is very deep. For example, for the Copa, we've been planning for this from ever since we left Canada that cold night. Planning the games as soon as we get the draws. I know who we're in group with. So I think in terms of planning, that is my biggest takeaway so far. In terms of managing players, that is also a big thing, because I think 5, 6, 7 years ago, I'll make more emotional decisions, and now I make more team decisions, and that is something that I've learned from Coach Hallgrimsson since he come in, how to manage and does not, don't take decisions with emotions, take it for the team and not with emotions. But it's been a joy so far, and I'm learning, I'm growing, and as coach always say, we're all learning from each other, growing together, and I'm just doing my part, for 2026 and beyond.
Again, thank you, everybody, for being here. For those who are heading to Houston, safe travels.
We're fucking out. We're fucking out.